Alright, YouTube, try it with me here. Listen. The Fireborn. Okay? Fireborn. I'm going to call this unit by the proper name all throughout this video. I promise you that. So prepare to be amazed. Let's jump in. Indeed, we have the Fireborn, which means we are going to see the High Elves on the battlefield, led by the EverQueen, Alarielle. She's got an army with her of spearmen. Big surprise, right? You see this a lot from High Elves. So 4 standard spears and 1 scion of a Mathlon. We've got 2 Sisters of Avalorn and the EverQueen's Court Guards, which is a special Sisters of Avalorn regiment renowned. There is a standard Dragon Prince on the other flank and an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, and they are facing off against an army of chaos led by Sartharel, the Ever Chicken, the Ever Missile Resistant Chicken. That's right, he's got extra missile resistance as well as being fried extra crispy whenever you finish him off. So here we've got 3 Horse Masters here, Marauder Horse Masters. And then there's a front line of Chaos, which is just going to be an armored infantry, heavily armored, heavily shielded, should do quite well against High Elf Spearmen, as they won't be able to penetrate the armor. And then we've got the Demon Spew right here where Sartharel is at. There is 1 unit of Knights with Lances that is advancing through the forest right now. So 1 heavy cavalry. Let's hit play. Kind of watch how this unfolds. So you can see the Horsemaster is going to quickly move forward and try and deal some damage to Alarielle. There's also a Warhound over here, a Poison Warhound. Apologize, I missed that earlier. Yeah, Sartharel is very missile resistant. A lot of people have a tendency to start targeting him just as soon as he comes into range. And this is 2 Sisters of Avalorn opening fire, and you can see it does almost nothing. And that's with armor piercing and magic missiles. It really just doesn't work. Don't waste your time is the key there. Right here, look at this. The Chaos Knights with Lances didn't spot their enemy, and they're going to take a charge from these Dragon Princes, which is unfortunate for them because on the charge, the Chaos Knights with Lances are actually the more potent unit out of this pair. There is a Spearman there to assist. The Demon Spew come forward a little too early, and they get absolutely spewed on by the Sisters of Avalorn. Pun intended. Bad pun intended. Here comes the Ever Chicken. Man, this guy is one slippery giant bird weasel. He is like a, I guess a weasel is the right word. He's like a greased up weasel with that. Rolled around in lard. You just can't pin this guy down. He can slip out of just about everything. And he's very squishy in melee to certain units, but very resistant to missiles, and he's also fairly resistant to magic. Here he's used a Final Transmutation and done a lot of damage to Alarielle and also the Fireborn. So Alarielle's going to come over here and use her Star of Avalorn to do some healing, and the Horse Masters are going to try and take advantage of this to get into melee with what they were hoping was squishy units, but the Sisters of Avalorn with the Star of Avalorn, not going to be a squishy unit for Horse Masters. The Bolt Thrower, on the other hand, is a different story. As expected, the Spearmen don't have much of a prayer up against this Chaos Infantry, but because of the martial prowess that gives them extra defense, as long as their hit points are high, they will do quite well in this fight. We'll kind of zoom down through here. So yeah, Chaos Warriors, this is actually a fight where they will probably pay for themselves. The Demon Spew is able to come back up into combat, and let's see what's going on with Sartharel. There was a Summoners of Rage here. But it was pinned down by the Fireborn and shot by the Sisters of Avalorn and pretty summarily executed. It tried to charge right through the Scions of Mathlon, and you can see that they have taken a lot of damage. Did do the damage. The Demon Spew is now through here. Now Alarielle is going to chase the Ever Chicken. We got the Ever Queen and the Ever Chicken. Is she the Queen of Fried Chicken now? Possibly? Anyway, yeah, they're going to fight. Sartharel actually would win this fight, I think, if you just stood there and let him go at it. So Alarielle, one of the few lords who isn't particularly dangerous to Sartharel in a prolonged melee engagement. But the challenge that she can give him is that she can charge from the air and not give Sartharel an attempt to charge back. Now remember, he's also unbreakable. It makes Sartharel actually very difficult to Lord Snipe without the right circumstances. So he can be difficult to Lord Snipe unless you get just the right circumstances. This chain lightning here. The Summoners of Rage regroup? Or was that off of Alariel? Well, I can't even remember. It seems like the Summoners of Rage would have been the only one who had that. Oh, yeah, they did regroup. Here they are. So, yeah, it was off of them. So, they've regrouped, and they're coming back into the fight. The Fireborn are still fighting on. They should be able to put down the Summoners of Rage, but if they get a good charge, they'll do a little bit of damage to the Fireborn. Alariel's back in the air, and this battle is actually in the favor of Chaos right now, according to the power bar, and I can see why. Look at these Chaos Warriors. Slaughtered the Spearmen. Again, these ones slaughtered their spear opponents. Same thing's going on over here. The Poison Warhounds are aiding in that. Another Star of Avalorn here, this one healing the Fireborn. A little bit of healing on Alariel, but there may only be so much healing. Yeah, I mean, no, they're being healed, so it's helping a lot, actually, because the Summoners of Rage were causing some pretty solid damage. The Horse Masters took a lot of damage early in that fight, charging the Sisters of Avalorn. Now, if they didn't charge the Sisters of Avalorn, there's a chance that they just got shot up anyway. So I can understand why they charged, but the Sisters are pretty solid in melee, and especially this EverQueen's Court Guards. Look at that, 43 melee attack, 51 defense. That is not a unit that a Horse Master is going to quickly put under. Now, a Knight with Lances, that's a different story, but a Marauder Horse Master, not really the fight they want. See there where they got the charge, they're going to do a little damage, but when that melee ensues, these lightly armored Horse Masters are going to get wrecked by the EverQueen's Court Guards. These ladies are no stranger to battle. As you can see Alariel there buffing her troops, but Chaos Warriors, on the other hand, yeah, good luck. EverQueen Court Guards, good luck. You're gonna need it. There's still a Dragon Prince and the Fireborn alive, though, so the High Elves do have some very potent units, but Chaos has 4 units of Chaos Warriors that are fairly healthy, and a fairly healthy Everchicken, but he was just caught over here by these Dragon Princes. You see him try and fight his ways out of there. Let's see if he can grease himself up and get out of this situation. He no doubt can. It's that animation. Look, see how he kind of just flies his way right out of there. He is such a unique lord in that respect, the way that he can just slip in and out of fights and cause terror. He can be an extremely potent tool in the hands of a skilled player with a good army pick. Very, very interesting pick with Sartharel. He's an interesting lord, and you don't see him all that often. I'm not really sure why. He's definitely viable, but I think it's probably because it takes a little more finesse than some of the Chaos Lords to use him properly. But again, with good use, he can be quite devastating. So still 3 units of warriors that are in pretty good shape. 1 unit that is getting pretty damaged now, and they took a charge from Dragon Princes, so they will be quickly sped toward the afterlife if they keep taking charges like that. Chaos Warriors look so cool. I feel like the Chaos Warriors are a unit that gets overlooked pretty often. They are somewhat expensive, but in a case like this against the High Elves, where, sure, the High Elves can bring armor-piercing infantry, but a lot of times they rely on spears, the pick of the Chaos Warriors is pretty interesting, actually. I mean, if they had run into Sword Masters or something, yeah, they would get absolutely dumped on. But in this case, they've been quite handy. Quite handy. Heavily shielded, makes them somewhat resistant to all the missile fire from the High Elves. And then, look at that armor. 100 armor. Very solid melee defense stats. Not very impressive attack stats, but those guys can tank out a lot of damage, and if they're up against a non-armored target, they do well. Look at this. Alariel catches the Everchicken, who is on his last throes of life, and she deep fries him to perfection and leaves him on the battlefield. So Alariel is going to survive, but if you look at the balance bar, it still just shows even. So let's take an assessment of what's left. There's some regrouped spears. Spears, no danger really to these Chaos Warriors. There's one Chaos Warrior here that's in trouble being attacked by the Fireborn, who have racked up a tremendous number of kills. And even more impressive, I have not called them by the wrong name, to my recollection. So take that. And I'm not even going to say what that wrong name is, because then I will have said it. So there we go. So yeah, these Chaos Warriors trying to hunt down the remaining High Elves, the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower comes back into play too. So the High Elves definitely have some tools to finish this one, because the Chaos Warriors are slow. This cavalry is going to make a big difference late in the game too, because that 80 charge bonus is just devastating. When you get into the late game, your units aren't braced, they don't have support of other units, you start taking a charge with all that mass and an 80 charge bonus, it's going to be ugly. You can see here, though, these Chaos Warriors actually catch up with some of the Sisters of Avalorn. It's not good for them. Not good at all. But, again, these guys are very, very slow. Apparently, cross-country training is not a thing in the waste of Norska. These guys just don't get into that. So let's take inventory of what's left. There's one Chaos Warrior hiding over here. A little bit of Earth Blood here, which will help the Dragon Princes. The Fireborn, however, are completely beyond being able to heal at this point because they had that Star of Avalorn earlier. You can see the Reaper Bolt Thrower is back on, the crew is back on the artillery pieces, and they're going to be able to open fire. So only a matter of time at this point before the Chaos forces are brought down, but I mean, intelligently here, the Chaos player trying to play to win. He's going to head into the woods to do his best to shield his remaining warriors from the fire of the Sisters of Avalorn, as well as the Bolt Thrower. You can see that Bolt Thrower caught the tree, actually, which was fortunate for Chaos. The trees provide significant cover. It also lessens the charge of cavalry, I believe. Ooh, that one didn't get stopped. So unfortunate for these poor saps. Yeah, that Chaos Warrior is going to take a nasty charge. This Dragon Prince is packing a massive hit. So those warriors are going to bite it, and all of them are going to rout at this point. Alariel squeaks out a narrow victory over the Everwatcher. It was a great battle. Thank you, By Names, and thank you, Bob is Great. That was a fun one. If you all enjoyed that one, make sure to let them know in the comments, please. And if you did enjoy it, hit that like button, and I will do my best to get you more. If you want to see more, by the way, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell. I'm not sure the bell has been notifying people properly. I'll ask YouTube about it. I've had a few people tell me it's not working, but it should work in theory. And you'll know about the newest videos. But yes, thank you for sending this one in. Let's just take a little quick recap. Both of the cavalry units did very well here. The Fireborn picking up 155 kills, and Dragon Princes with 102. Obviously a very key component of this army. Whereas on the other side, Sartharel himself racking up 103 kills. And again, this guy is a terror, literally. He has terror, and he can just go right through your lines. And he is very resistant to missiles. A net of Ammontok is one good way to shut this guy down. If you suspect him coming on the battlefield, you can net him at the right moment and pin him down with units that can cut him apart quickly. But you have to be careful. If he is properly protected and microed, he is one slippery chicken to catch. Then the Chaos Warriors doing a good job, but you can see none of them picked up a chevron, despite getting a fairly large number of kills, and it's because they're fighting spearmen that are considerably cheaper. But I still think these units did a good job, and they were the last ones alive. Demon Spew just got cut up by Archer Fire. The Chaos Knights with Lances could have been a game changer here, but because it was caught on the hoof by this Dragon Prince, it was defeated. And I actually think the Chaos Knights with Lances probably takes that fight home had it gotten the charge. And then I think the Marauder Horsemasters were tossed in just a little bit early as well. Maybe if they waited for Sartharel to disrupt all of the Sisters of Avalorn, they could have come in from behind and javelined them to death. And this Warhammer with Poison could have potentially... Well, actually, I don't know how well this thing would have done versus the Sisters. That'd be another interesting test. I could see it, maybe, taking them down. But again, with their attack and this being a relatively low armor unit, it's hard to say. But one would think that they would do fairly well, at least. But fun army by names. Again, thank you, Bob is Great. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will be back soon with more. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you soon on the next episode. See you there.